First thing I wanted to show was how to add a picture in a title or a picture in part of a video. I'm just going to show the title part. If we went to edit and we wanted to drag something down to our timeline, I'm dragging this simple title here where it says movie title here. Again, I'm going to zoom in on my timeline so that I can see what my clip looks a little bit easier. And I wanted to organize, get media. I'm actually going to get a file today that's a still picture. So I'm going to go to my H drive. I've saved something off of the internet. Tech, editing. I've got a picture here called bench grinder. And you can see it's a picture of me using a bench grinder. I wanted to put that picture into the background of this here. So I'd simply drag and drop this bench grinder picture onto the timeline exactly at the same time as my title. Now you can see it's too big, so you can resize this picture as soon as you drag it, and then you can move it around. So once I've resized it, I can start taking it and moving it around on my picture frame. So this is going to be turning out, well, it's not going to be perfect because of the dimensions of my picture, but it's close to where I've got me using a bench grinder, and it's going to be inside of my picture frame. And if you'll notice down here, the video is exactly as long as my title. So as long as my title's playing, that picture's going to be in the middle there. If I wanted to go back to my title, I'd have to click on my title down here, double click on this, and I can go ahead and change the movie title, and I could just say bench grinding axles. And maybe I wanted to center that left and right, up and down. Oh, that doesn't look good. I'll have to click the cursor and move that back down again. Next thing I wanted to do was go ahead and insert a video and show you how you could insert, again, a video, but this time we're going to do something that we haven't done before. The next thing I wanted to do was insert a video. So if I say get media, files and folders, and I would go again to the X drive, I wanted to just show you how to do a couple quick things with a video. We've never done this before, but we have dragged down a video to our video line, and when we drag our cursor to a spot in the video, we've already done this before, where we get the video to a spot where we say, here's where we want to cut it. We could cut it, and then we could delete this section by hitting the delete key. I also want to show you that instead of doing that, I just did Control-Z where I undid some of those cuts. I could drag from the beginning of this video clip, and I can drag it to the point where it shows right there is where I want it to begin. So here's where it's going to begin. I'm doing a video now of me just being silly. I'm coming towards the camera. And I notice I want it to stop there, so I'm going to trim the back part of it down to right there. And I've got a video. I'm thinking this video here might be interesting if I time stretched it. That means slowed it down or sped it up. So I'm going to just go ahead and right-click copy, and then I'm going to right-click paste. Whoops. Edit paste. And I've got that video in twice. Now, it's the same video. If I time stretch that, I can slow it down. So I'm going to slow it down about half speed. And you know what? It doesn't sound very loud, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this yellow line right here. This yellow line is going to allow me to raise or lower the volume a little bit. And as I raise the volume, I'm raising it by 6 decibels. That's quite a bit, so I'm going to be able to hear that a little bit better. Something I wanted to do is I wanted to take the same video clip and reverse it. He's like, why would you want to reverse something? Well, in our towers, we're going to want to reverse the towers, so after we destroy them, they bring them back to life. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this again, paste it, and on this clip, instead of trying to do time stretch here, I'm going to right-click and select time stretch, ... In this time stretch, I can change the speed, but more importantly, I can reverse the speed. So if I click reverse, that's simply going to reverse my clip. Ah, yes. So when I play this,
some people will eat us.
You can see how I reverse myself. When I come into this part of the video clip, I'm slow. I don't believe I can take this and go to time stretch and reverse Looks like we can. So those are a couple different features that we haven't learned before. Again, I wanted to show you how you can adjust the volume. This yellow line here on your audio track is going to be able to raise or lower the volume. If you don't want any sound on a video clip, you can simply take that and lower it all the way down. That means it's 0 decibels, and when you play it, it won't have any sound to it. While we're on the topic of sounds, I'd like to show you how you can add a soundtrack. If you organize and get media, and you go to Files and Folders, but this time don't go to your hour, 2nd, 4th, or 6th hour, click on the audio folder inside the X drive. And I placed an unusual number of, or unusual sound files here in the X drive that you can simply add that media, like a duck quacking or an elephant making a noise, or, for example, this party rock song. As I double click party rock, now I've got this media that I can drag down to my timeline. When I drag it down to the timeline, and I'm going to put it on my soundtrack file, and I might want to click this little triangle here to show my file. This is a very loud sound. The other thing that I've got, it's a very long sound. As you look at this, it goes way past the end of my video, so I'm going to need to crop this or trim this way down. I don't want this to be in my entire video. In fact, I don't want it to be while the other students are speaking, so I'm going to keep trimming that down to where it's only part of my introduction, part of my title. And I notice here at the beginning, there's a little spot at the beginning that doesn't have any sound, so I'm going to trim that down as well. And I'm going to right click on this and just do a fade in so that my audio fades in, and I'm going to right click and fade out so my audio fades out. At this point, when we play this, it's going to begin and you'll hear some audio.
People.
And that continues throughout the video. I've done that pretty quickly. Remember that we've taken sounds from the X drive, we put them in. We cannot put the sounds over top of a file. If we put a sound over top of another file, what's going to happen is that's going to be, while we're playing our sounds, the audio is going to be coming from that soundtrack. If we wanted something like that to happen, maybe I take the sound out of this file. So I'm not talking and saying, "Sup people," I've just got the sound file dragging in the background. If I realize, oh, this needs to be a little bit longer, I could drag that to be a little bit longer, but I've already faded this out, so maybe I'd raise the level of that a bit. Obviously, sound makes something interesting. Don't make it distracting. So hope you've learned something from this. Again, if you have any other questions, F1 on your keyboard for most programs brings up a help menu. So when you bring up the help menu, see it's taking a moment here. Adobe Air, cancel. Here's my help menu. Download later, cancel. I could end up searching something here in the Adobe community, and I could do everything that's just about Adobe Premiere. So maybe I wanted to, because I forgot how to do something backwards, I could say reverse, and I could search on how to reverse a video. Hope that helps.